Some people ask the question, what makes you a relationship expert? I'm going to answer that. And plus, why you shouldn't listen to the married men, most married men, when it comes to dating, because they have no clue what the hell's going on outside. They have this skewed vision of what it's supposed to be, especially if they're religious. That's when you're super religious. That's when you really should not listen to them, because their idea of a relationship is based on something unique. And we'll also get to that. But first, let's figure out what makes somebody an expert in something. In order to make somebody an expert in something, they would have to do it over and over, and they would have to get results. And they're supposed to be able to start from scratch once again, and then be able to easily achieve the results again. So when you go to an expert, let's just say if I go to a surgeon and the surgeon is an expert at surgery or whatever surgery they're doing, that means I can do this, whatever that surgery is, if I need to do one. And the next one, even if it's in the worst case scenario, I can do that one too. I've done surgeries over and over so many times that if a new person come in with the same or similar injury, it's going to be a breeze for me to do because I'm so used to doing it. So it's just basically you getting used to something. Now, when they say relationship experts or whatever they want to say, is the people that, let's just say, go to school specifically for some type of psychology, which I think honestly are some of the stupidest people. But let's just say the people that go to school for that. Let's break down school. Let's think. If you go to school for something, school gives you a curriculum. And with that curriculum, you just have to go through it. This doesn't mean you have to be an A student. This doesn't mean that you have to be a B student or a C. You can still pass. Let's just say a C minus. You can still get a degree or whatever it is. And technically, if you go through the ranks, you do everything in between, then you're still categorized as an expert, right? Although you never been out and about. You read it. That would be just like a boxer that read how to throw a punch, telling you exactly how to fight in the ring, and he knows better than you because he read on it. How can you be a relationship expert or anything of the such if you haven't been in multiple relationships? And when I say multiple relationships, I don't mean the dating dynamic of happy wife, happy life 4 or 5 times. I mean, you're able to get up and have no women, go out tonight and have at least 1, 2. And then you can do that again and again, and you can have women come over to your house. Do as y'all please. You can also sleep with multiple women, and then you can stop it and cut it off. But you know, if you wake up next week and say, you know what, I want to do it all over again, you can go out and get new women and do that over and over again. That's where we want to get into married men, not even the super religious ones yet. Let's just talk about other married men, just regular married men. Those married men know about one woman. That's it. Unless she was player before, we can't really speak on it. I hear the old school, and that depends on age too, because I hear the old school guys that were out and about before give advice to the young dudes. And it sounds ridiculous, which shows you that the dating dynamics changed a lot. This is why these guys don't know what they're talking about. I give you a perfect example. Somebody that's good, which is TK Kirkland. I like TK Kirkland. If you ever look at TK Kirkland, he did an episode on Fresh and Fit. It's a while ago though, but he was on there. And Myron was talking his thing, but Myron is talking about modern dating. TK Kirkland, which keep in mind, this is not to knock that. He probably still get a whole bunch of women, especially if they older. He get a whole bunch, and he probably had a ton back in the days. I believe that. He got like 9 kids or something like that. He was out and about, and he was with all the stars that you could think of. So I'm sure he got a lot of box out there. But everything he was saying is like, court a woman, make her feel good, bring her flowers. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you talk. Bring her flowers on the first day. That's how you're supposed to do. Make her feel good and calm. Have some nice music playing. That's how you talk. I'm like, dude, that's how I know you've been out the loop for a very, very, very long time. Yeah, girls don't want that. And that would automatically just assume the attraction that she really likes you, right? Back then, it's a little bit different. Also, when you have money and you're out and about, it's a big difference. That's how I know. He's not married, but he's the dynamic. His mindset is that way. Now, when you hear the married dudes say certain things, oh, to keep a woman, you got to do this. Everything that they say in order to keep a woman is basically saying that you basically have to pander to a woman. That's how I know they don't know what they're talking about. Pandering to a woman doesn't help you keep her if she doesn't really like you. Now, when you have a wife and she actually likes you, like your wife actually want to be with you, then yeah, pandering to her is fantastic, right? Because it's going to make her want to stay because she already likes you and she already loves you. They don't understand that you don't have to do any of that for any of these women, and you can still have them. And you can still have a woman pander to you, even if you don't even like her. In fact, you'll probably have more women when you don't give out the emotion and you don't really like them, which is the oddest thing, right? But women are ass backwards. And if they say that, if you tell them that, they'll say that you're crazy. You're telling me about the one woman you got. You're telling me about the one woman you slept with, been on dates with in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. How can you give advice to anybody? You can give advice to another man, her next husband, about how to be with her. That's the person that you can give advice to. You can't give advice to guys out here dating. So when you look, if y'all ever was to get a divorce, you save that energy for her next husband. Tell him what he needs to know, because he can know how to talk about that one woman and what to do for that one woman. Religious men. I see a lot of religious men that like Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson is a religious man, and I firmly believe, let's get this out the way first. I firmly believe the best dating dynamic that you can ever have is an actual Christian home, an actual one. You know, the one where the man is loyal to the woman is loyal to the man leads the household, the woman follows the man, the kids is raised in that household. This is probably the best dating dynamic you could ever have. The man was a virgin when he met her. She was a virgin when she met him. They follow the Bible religiously. That is probably the best dynamic for a family ever. So let's just start with that and kick that out the window, right? That is the best. However, that is not what's going on now. Most people are secular. Most people don't follow that religion. That's most. So if you come in with that mindset, unless your wife super duper religious and innocent with you, it's probably not going to work out. Also, just because she is super duper religious, that still doesn't save you. Or she's really into religion. That's like the Steven Crowder situation. That doesn't save you from women, because they're going to be slaves to their emotions. And if they're slaves to their emotions, then it's not really going to work. It just really depends on how they feel. And when it comes to Andrew Wilson giving advice, keep in mind, like I said, if you go the Christian route and your wife is, with it, then you're perfectly fine. But the things that they miss out when it comes to dating, that most women are not religious. That's most. They're not following and then going to church every Sunday or going to mass or whatever it is or whatever religion they go. They just don't do that. Number two, you're one word, 2 letters on repeat away from destruction. And that's just no. Because the day, let's just say his wife wakes up and says, no. Hey, can you do this for me, babe? No. Do it yourself. Oh, I need you to do. No. What happens then? The day that she just feels like, don't feel like doing it no more. What are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing that you can do. In fact, you're so crippled. And that's the reason why those guys try to make those situations last. So a lot of these guys that are married, or let's call them experts if you want to, those guys, the reason why they are so into just one woman is because they can't really get up and leave. Because whatever you have, they act like, oh, you have to fight through it. No, you're scared to death to go back outside. You want to hold on to whatever you got so tightly that you would go against every single one of your values just to keep her there. And if you think I'm lying, Jesus Christ, if you're actually outside and you're actually an expert and you actually know these things and you can call it out and you can read people from across the room, you'd be like, yep, that's an expert. A guy that can look at a woman and be like, yep. And that's why experts do whatever they do. They know the women to approach. They know how to speak to them. because every woman doesn't get the same exact sentence or the same exact move, but you can kind of tell when you're an expert. You can read people really, really, really good from across the room. So those people that are the real experts, they can go out there and they can just go get another woman. And if they have a woman, wife, whatever it is, it has to be a line. You have a hard line that it's, you cannot cross this line or we are done. A lot of those married men don't have those lines. They try to create those lines and hope that the woman says yes. Guys that are experts, especially with relationships, I can redo this over again. This is not doom and gloom. This is not to also say that, oh, just because the woman you're with didn't do something you liked one Friday, you should be like, all right, I'm out. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have the option to do that. And your line is so hard, that line in the sand is so deep that you cannot cross it. Because then after that, you just fall into the abyss. A lot of those guys don't have those lines. They try to compromise those lines afterwards, but then try to give other men advice in order to do the same thing. To try to be in their position, where they're basically cucked to the point that they can't even get whatever they want unless you have to try your best to convince her. And maybe on Monday she don't like it, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday. And you keep on doing that over and over and saying, baby, please, until you get that. A lot of them is cucked. And if they're not, let's say they do have some dominance in their relationship, I can guarantee you their wife, the woman that they're with, I can guarantee you she's submissive to him. I can guarantee that. So the next time these guys say, all right, well, I'm an expert and I know exactly what to do. I'm married. I want you to look at their dating dynamic, look at their wife. It's either she runs completely over him. It's not no 50-50. That don't work. It's either she runs completely over him and he begs her, he cucks to her, or it would have to be the opposite where she actually submits to him unwillingly. And I'm talking about to the extreme. Like if he said, I need you to go walk to this place, come back to this place, don't ask me no questions, just do it. She'll just be like, all right, I trust this guy, so I'm just going to end up and just go do it. I'm not even going to ask no questions. I can guarantee you that dating dynamic, he can tell her like, yo, hush. And she'll just be like, all right, cool. Not because she's scared of him, it's because of her respecting. Right? So I can guarantee you it's either one of those two. So now you have to figure out which one of those categories are you going to be in. Are you going to be the one that's cucked? Or are you going to be the one that says, this is the line in the sand and it cannot be crossed? Because if it is crossed, then you fall into the abyss and that's the end of it. Which one are you going to be? Keep in mind, if you're cucked, then she's probably going to leave you anyway because she's not going to respect you at all. So that's already a dead in the sand anyway. If you go to the other side, if you are the man that has that line in the sand, then a woman has to be able to be with the man with a line in the sand, because women nowadays would prefer to have 6 men, one that could give her that aggression or that masculinity that she looks for, and the other one that's just going to be a pay to give her money, the other one that's going to have the good sexual desires and things that she likes, and the other one is just going to, take her out to certain places. Like she'd rather build a man than have to deal with you because she don't know how to be with a man. So when we talk about experts, relationship experts, this is not the person with a degree, because that's just a curriculum. And to be honest, if you really pay attention, education today is the same as education 80 years ago. How is that possible? If you're 30 years old or even 30 plus years old, you grew up when you first was young, you had cassette players. I'm talking about you pop the tape in, use your finger to twist it back. If you want to rewind, if the thing was messed up, you had that. You had VCRs. That went from CD players and burnt CDs. Then that went from LimeWire and downloading illegal music so you could put it on your first iPod to now being able to stream everything straight from your phone. Everything from when you were in the 90s, 80s, however old you are, even if in the early 2000s, it's vastly different than what it is right now. It's not that long ago. A lot of things changed and progressed. The education system did not. Anything that you can ask your professor, you can ask an AI. If they gave you your same class right now, you can get more information from ChatGPT or Gemini than you can get from your professor. Your professor is there to answer questions. Keep in mind, this is excluding the sciences and stuff like that. You have to actually have a physical teacher. This is not you doing anatomy, you opening up a human being, trying to figure it out. You're not going to chat GPT that. However, all the information you need, it's online. So if you want to talk about an expert, all the studies, everything you need, online. Because that's what they're going to give you anyway. And you just study it and do a paper. You can do it all yourself. That doesn't change the fact that if you go outside, that is not going to apply. These same guys that say they're experts, I don't care how old they are and how much relationship, let them go outside. That's what we want to see. We want to see you go outside. We want to see you mix and mingle with people. I don't care how old you are. And I want to see you pull women. I want to see you get a woman to say, yeah, I like this guy. I want you to go outside. And when you go outside and you get women, I want those women, you're going to have women that want to marry you. And when I say women, that means plural, right? That you can say that, oh, if I wanted to get married tomorrow, I can get married tomorrow. Those are the guys that are the expert when it comes to dating and women.